Hey, everybody. Happy Wednesday. I hope you're doing well on this Wednesday, March 27th. I'm CJ LeMaster, your lead investigative reporter for WLBT and your host for the WLBT Plus Digital News Desk update each and every weekday at 1 p.m. I got several of you watching right now on our Facebook live stream, also on YouTube and our OTT platforms. Thanks to everyone for tuning in to us today. I want to tell you, police right now in Jackson investigating a shooting that left one person dead. Now, JPD says this happened about 9:30 last night at the Pine Ridge Gardens apartments on Rebel Woods Drive. Officers say 20-year-old Ja'Cory Smith was shot multiple times. He was taken to a hospital, but he did not survive. Multiple shell casings were found at the scene. Police are now looking for the shooters. There was also another deadly shooting at the same complex last week. Just call JPD or Crime Stoppers if you have any information. Right now on WLBT.com, we are at 18 homicides for this year in the capital city. As you can see, we've had the two that we just talked about happening at Pine Ridge Garden Apartments. You can see here on the map. And again, you have to keep in mind that we also have information not just on these two killings that happened that police are still investigating, but also if you go back several years, that particular apartment complex has had quite a few. You can look through, and we haven't really demonstrated this a whole lot, but if you were to say, look at every year that we have every year from 2016 onward, and then you were to search "200 Rebel Woods Drive." 200 Rebel Woods Drive is the location of the Pine Ridge Garden Apartments. Just search a quarter mile, and you'll see that we've had 13 killings at that apartment complex since 2017, according to records that we have here that anybody can search through. You can, find all this information, of course, on WLBT.com and our Jackson Homicide Tracker, which is updated in real time as we learn of these investigations. Right now, we are 10%. We have a 10% drop in homicides, even though we've had 9 in the last 30 days. JPD's solve rate is about 67%, still higher than the national average. And again, we are hoping that we won't have any more for a while. But again, you don't know, and those are things that officers, they can't predict that. As you've heard the chief say many times, we can have all kinds of police everywhere, but in a lot of these cases, most of these are between people that know each other, and you can't just have police in everybody's homes to try and police that. So again, we're going to have more information on those stories as we learn it, as we get more. Right now, JPD does not have any suspects in this latest killing that happened last night at that apartment complex. Jackson City leaders and state lawmakers are still at odds over who should control the city's water system. The latest bill up for debate in the legislature would create a water authority board, but both sides are at odds over who gets majority control. Now, we've told you about this. It's the Jackson Water Authority Act. It creates a 9-member board. Jackson city leaders would have 3 direct appointments, so they would not have a majority on that board, which is something that Mayor John Horn has said he has to have in order for that to be something he would get behind. Council members don't like the fact that the city would not have majority control of that either. Now, right now, of course, an interim third-party manager runs the water system, Ted Hennepin. If this legislation becomes law, the new board would take over. The board would be in charge of doing things like setting your water rates, issuing bonds, improving the water systems. As lawmakers try to come to an agreement, one councilman says he's not supporting any legislation that doesn't give them full control over the system.
If you put it in someone else's hand, state or federal, they may just be looking at the bottom line. When we actually represent the citizens, and we're looking at not only the bottom line, but also the care of each and every citizen within our city.
The mayor and the council will be pushing for additional appointments to the board. And like I said, as a representative of the city of Jackson, I have to make sure that I maintain and fight very hard for their position going forward. But in the bottom line, in the end of the day, it's going to take 2 Senate members and 2 House members to come to an agreement to present it that agreement to the full House and the Senate. But without an agreement on the part of 4 members, 2 of the House, 2 of the Senate, it won't go very far at all.
Now, lawmakers have formed a new committee to try and break the stalemate, consisting of 3 members from the House, 3 from the Senate. The committee has until next Monday to submit a report for both chambers to adopt and take up. And of course, we'll continue to keep an eye on what happens with that legislation. Governor Tate Reeves vetoing a storm relief bill because of changes that were made after it passed. Now, he chose to veto Senate Bill 2632 because the word monthly was removed from language about interest rates. The lawmakers involved said it was to correct a typo, but the governor said the change could amount to criminal activity, saying it violates the Constitution. Lieutenant Governor Delbert Hosemann said on the Senate floor the governor's claims were malicious, unnecessary, and false.
Without striking the word monthly, the language would have resulted in a 12% interest rate to cities and counties already devastated, rather than the clearly intended by both the Senate and the House adopted 1% rate.
Now, Republican Senator Tyler McCaughan of Newton also responded to the governor's claim, saying, "I'm offended that anyone would allege that professionalism of the Senate is under attack." There is no resolution yet on the issue of reforming PBMs. Those are pharmacy benefit managers. It's an issue that also stalled at the end of last year's legislative session. Independent pharmacists say they're being reimbursed well below the cost for most drugs. They want to add a dispensing fee to cover the cost of things like label bottles and labels, but that's getting some pushback from some who think it could raise prices. Pharmacists packed the House gallery and the hallways of the Capitol yesterday as that debate continued.
Patients expect us to be there, and I mean, yeah, we do sell a lot that's under cost to patients, but I mean, what am I supposed to say no to them? You've been dealing with these folks since they were babies. I mean, it's about patient care. It's not just about the pharmacies.
Now, the White House sent a memo asking Mississippi lawmakers not to concur with House Bill 1665 as amended by the Senate. They claim some of the added provisions risk undermining key Trump administration priorities, in particular those related to expanding access to affordable prescriptions. One more thing we want to let you know of before we let you go is that we have a special that will be airing tomorrow night right here on WLBT. It'll also be on WLBT.com. When the weather turns dangerous, you need answers before it hits. Tomorrow night at 6:30, join the WLBT First Alert Weather Team for Before the Storm. This is your complete guide to everything that is happening, what will be happening this storm season, and of course, how to be ready for that. Our team will break down the threats, timing, and safest steps for your family, plus how to get alerts wherever you are. That's Before the Storm. It airs tomorrow night at 6:30 right here on WLBT. Got a few of you saying hi on this Wednesday. Miss Mary saying good afternoon. Miss Mary, I hope you're doing well. Britt, happy Wednesday, everyone. Britt, I hope you're doing well on this hump day. And Barbara Brewer saying good afternoon from Brookhaven, Mississippi. And Miss Brewer, thank you so much for that. That's all the time we've got for this edition of the WLBT Plus Digital News Desk Update. We appreciate you watching. And of course, we will be back here at 1 p.m. tomorrow for an update on some of the news that we're following here. Also, our First Alert Weather Team will be in here at 2:30 to give you an idea of the weather for this weekend, the rest of this work week. St. Patrick's Day, or the St. Patty's Day, the Howell St. Patty's Day parade will be on Saturday, so that's a huge deal. Of course, you'll want to know what the weather is going to be like for this weekend as a result of that. For everyone here at WLBT, I'm CJ LeMaster, your lead investigative reporter and your host for the WLBT Plus Digital News Desk Update. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.